What's up, fam? So today we're gonna talk about Predator Badlands. I was extremely surprised by it. Not only surprised, but extremely surprised. Like I came in with a perception of it, right? I was just like, it should be okay, it should be something, right? But when I walked out of it, I was just like, wow, this has been an incredible experience, right? It's something extremely well done, and there's so much to it, right? Like this film, you can literally talk about it for like a bunch of different things. One of the things is like the comparison, like let's say to the original Predator, right? And that always probably is gonna come up. And these are two separate ideas, right? One of them is more, let's say, is more personal. The Predator in the original film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, it acted almost like something like truly of mystery and and that it takes almost like a that exists almost as an abstract to the characters that were out there. There was something so secretive about it, right? And with this film, you don't have that. You have something that's been stripped away, so now you get to see the character. You get to see his emotions, his interpretations, his ideas. You can say that it's not even the same concept, right? And in theory, it really isn't. Like it might be the same character, right? It might be the Predator, but in reality, it's not even the same concept. It's not the same idea whatsoever. It has to evolve right through a course of like a decades after decades. And you can make some criticisms of that, but at the end of the day, it's like you look at everything like what do you have within this framework, right? Whatever you have here, and sure, you can make some arguments of legacy and things like that, but it's like these are two very different separate pieces of art, right? With Predator, you have something extremely, extremely different, right? And with this, you have something that has evolved, like not evolved, but has decided to take a different road to see what would follow from that. And to be honest, this is not even something bad. Sometimes you have to look at things. It's like if you're gonna retell the same story, like with Predator, it is this ideological concept, right, of this enemy in the jungle that will come down and kill the soldiers, and they will have to fight through it. And he was a mystery, and it would just show up. And then the more you found out, the more you knew, and then it was like this alien creature. And then in the second one, and the ones that follow, you got to know more about that subject, right? But it's even in the second one, you still have a lot of mystery, and that's how it was kept. In this one, all that is stripped away, right? Well, now we're something more naked. The God that you saw in the first one, something like just so mysterious, is completely open to you, right? His emotions, his interpretation. This is an actual character with human distinctions and emotions, and both of them like have their own ideas of what they bring, right? Like in this, if it's gonna do this right, if it's not gonna be something like the original Predator or like the Predator from Prey, it has to have something, right? Like the qualities, the properties that make it up, like they have to speak for something. In this film, the take that they're doing, right, the style, what they the angle that they decided to go about, it's good. Like it's incredibly good. It's very different, but it's good, right? Like it's not the same Predator, but at the same time, it's like, let's see what happens with this interpretation. Is very well done. You have to see Predator too, almost like you would see like Batman or even Godzilla, because Godzilla also is going in the same direction. Where it's like you can put these characters now in a bunch of different scenarios or set pieces, and now they can tell multiple different styles of stories. If you look at Batman from the early comic books to now, to let's say something like The Dark Knight, it has completely evolved, right? Like it means something else across different genres, across different motives. You can put Batman in basically any type of idea and it'll work out. And Godzilla's sort of becoming that, right? With Godzilla, you had something like Shin Godzilla, then you had Godzilla minus one. You can even have the Godzilla from Matthew Broderick's Godzilla, right? Walking around New York City. And all of them have a very different idea or context to them. And it works out well for the story elements. It's like ideas to interpret the character, right? And with the Predator, it seems like we can actually hit that same direction, where you can put them in different ideas, and it'll just become something else, or we can tackle a different subject. With Badlands, right? You have this interpretation of something that's actually filled with growth, right? And growth was something that you did not have in the previous films. In here, you actually do see it from beginning to very end. You have a character that learns, becomes pretty much different by the end of the movie, and that's extremely interesting. And it's not something like just basic learning, right? Or experiencing the adventure, the story. It's something or extremely abstract and philosophical because it's a story of redemption, right? At one point, the character, right, like his journey is one of honor without context. Basically, he just have to get this done because of an idea to redeem. Okay, to redeem something that he has experienced, right? At the beginning of the film, right, when everything kind of starts, is you have the predator like with his brother, and they get betrayed by his father. The brother ends up, he ends up losing his brother, and the main predator for this one is called Deck, right? He's the younger predator who wasn't really good or adept. So in the tribe of the predators, it's like, we're gonna kill you, right? Because you were one of the weaklings. So his brother tries to save him, but his father actually ends up killing his brother, and it's something very brutal and very visceral. And there's also some action elements through all of that that hooks you in completely. So then you have the predator that gets sent to a different planet because in that planet he's gonna kill this monster called the Kalisk. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right. And if he kills the Kalisk, he can bring that back home to his tribe, or he can redeem the idea of his brother and how he saved them. But all that story becomes something of like a system of growth, let's say, right? Once the predator lands in this new planet called Gena, he undertakes this path, almost this path of a hero that he has to get to the end, and he has to do it for his for the honor of his brother. And the thing is though that this is something that the character, right, is a predator. He's still something very grumpy, something that is very direct, something that's just very much action driven. And even when he lands in the planet, he's not something like deeply emotional or deeply thoughtful or pensive, but he does have those moments, which is amazing because you're legitimately looking at the same predator let's say the same idea that fought Arnold Schwarzenegger in the jungle, right? You have that almost monstrous figure. He's portraying everything right as he goes. He's this It's almost a reevaluation of the hunt that he used to have. Back then, he was hunting the human beings, and that was the interpretation. But here, the hunt has taken a different approach into something almost like an infinite loop of honor, or like an emphasis on his growth, right? Like he has to go through all these chapters to become something better. But it's done in such a way that is like it's so natural and personal too. And it's amazing because it's just from again the perspective of a predator. Sometimes you have these moments of complete silence. They give the movie a lot of space to breathe. The action is so great too. As soon as when the predator is landing into the planet, he starts fighting the fauna. Because the planet, right? It's the Badlands. I believe it has the name. The name of the planet is Gena, and everything is just so brutal and violent since the very beginning, and that continues on, right? It's just like a constant gauntlet that he has to go through, and it's incredibly well done. Like for a character, right, that you're not supposed to have all this emotion or this emotional depth. Now you have gained that, which is amazing, right? From the god that you saw in the jungle by Schwarzenegger that had nothing, right? You just kind of just saw his effects upon the world that he will kill somebody, or he was he was invisible and so dominant. In here, you have given it personality, you have given it growth, you have given it all these aptitudes. And it works, right? It works. I'm surprised. Like the idea is just genius. The whole idea of this movie is very genius, right? Because once he's in the Badlands, right, or the planet, the planet, right, one of the most dangerous planet in the galaxy. He meets Elle Fanning, right, who's a cyborg robot who's just half of her, right. Her name is Thea, and the robot acts as sort of almost like a donkey in Shrek, constantly blabbering, speaking much more than he does, which gives everything a sort of comedic, sometimes a comedic tone. Sometimes it allows them to ponder questions, and the character himself, all that the interaction between the two is like really, really cool, right? Like really nicely done because they're so different, right? Two different parallel. They contrast extremely differently. Like the robot Thea Elle Fanning is like very joyous, very jubilant. She's at the beginning like she's something so, let's say, cute, Like she Elle Fanning herself, right, is something cute. Like she's beautiful, right? So it has that extreme contrast to the grotesque that is the Predator, and even her she seems also more alive as well because has a lot of emotions, a lot of complexities, right? Like she feels more human being the cyborg than the monster that she's walking next to, that she's being carried around, because it's just half of her body. And the way that works out is just that was just the in cinema, sometimes you have to have an idea that is just that hooks you in, like that is very simplistic to understand. And this idea that it's just half her body and the predators going along for the ride, this is excellence. It's just absolute excellence. It's just so good for storytelling. It allows you to do a lot of things that are cool, fun, and interesting, while still giving it depth to the characters, emotional depth. You can go this direction or that direction. They'll also meet another friend along the way. The way they tackle subjects is interesting. Their drama, as things get complicated further all down the road, it's good. It's one of the best. It's a great cinematic idea, basically, right? Like to put somebody in your back, like the robot, and it's Elle Fanning, so she's always talking. It's like Shrek and Donkey, and Donkey's in the back just blabbering constantly. But it's not something annoying. It's something that sometimes might have a lot of growth for Predator himself, right? Because she has him, Thea is almost very human, so she's always asking him questions. So this allows for the other character that you really could not imagine this character to have depth, to little by little develop more ideas, still within almost this silent figure. Because Predator, they do have a name, Joshua's. Oh, I forgot about it. Either way, we're gonna call him Predator. He still has this this almost like men with no name type silence, and it's so wonderful and beautiful because you can just bounce things at it, and sometimes it gives you a lot of depth from very little lines, right? And that's the cool thing, because he doesn't speak much. When he does speak, everything sort of has this more presence to it and more understanding, right? Let's say something like that, something that feels deeper, but you still have his personality for what little bits of it they are here and there. It's an interesting character. Deck the Predator is a very, very interesting character. And this all bounces back because also of Elle Fanning, the robot. It's amazing, right? It's a good idea. The action in this film is cool and interesting, right? Like everything is like there's a lot of tracking shots within the action sequences, or they show you everything. This is not a film that wants you to give you a cheap product or some idea that is not fully developed. Everything takes its time in showing you things, and they also become very clever. There were moments in the movie where I'm like, like I'm just gasping at what's happening next, or I'm surprised by the action that just happened, because it's interesting, it's vibrant, it's dynamic, it goes all over the place, and it carries you along for the ride. Because there's always one thing after another that happens that's interesting. Sometimes you think you might relax for a bit, but then something else happening. And then this story obviously mellows down so you can get to know the character and be enveloped by all their other curiosities and ideas. It's very good. Like as cinema, right? This is the kind of film that you just go through it because it's so enjoyable. Like you just sit there and you enjoy every piece of it. Every piece is interesting. There's nothing also like that tries to subvert your experience or distort it, or cynicism or on cleverness. It's very honest in what it wants to tell you, even till the very end, right? It understands that it's a movie, and it gives you something that is like extremely honest, which I really like. It never tries to become something else that it isn't, because it doesn't have to. Because what is here, the formula, the formula is just so clean and very beautifully done. Like I think it's a very beautiful thing at the end of the day. Like everything just works out well, and it's like this sort of happiness to it, dude. Like once you get to like the third act, right? The scene, the action gets better. You see like right at the end too. Let's say not even the climax, right? Between the final battle, but after that, there's something more, right? In those scenes with the character, with Deck and its resolution, it's marvelously done. It's everything is kept so perfect too, and so it has a lot of movie magic, let's say, right? And you feel happy and content after you're done. I love it. This was I mean, from here, I do have some the questions that I do have when you have films like this. It's like I was thinking, it's like, is there going to be a sequel, right, or something like that? And the truth is like I kind of don't wanted it to have, right. If it was just by itself, a singular movie, although the movie makes references that it probably won't be, but if it was a singular film, I would really love it, right? If it start expanding into it, like making it more like an extension, right? Obviously, I'm gonna enjoy it. Like it's gonna be probably really good as well. But also wonder, right? Like when it comes to ideas like this, it's like, do you really want to squeeze too much juice out of it, or where would it take you, right? Because now you're dealing with a character that is like alive, right? Predator now works sort of almost like a superhero, anti-hero to some degree, right? Is that the angle that we're going in? Are his roots removed? Is he going to become something else? So that's my question to that, right? And it's like the atmosphere seems very open to whatever happens. Elle Fanning, I love her as an actress, dude. I love her, and she plays two roles in this film. She plays two sisters. Both of them are robots. And one of them is, very happy, be very spongy, let's say. The other one has this more villainy tone to herself, so it's a little bit more drive and more center. As you will have a villain play, right? Or not even a villain, but just somebody that has to be more direct in his execution of actions. The whole movie looks also beautiful. Like there's this big epic um, landscape views that you see, and it looks expansive and beautiful. It's like this big wide angle, right? You get a feel of the entire planet and how desolate it can be, and at the same time how dangerous. And this fidelity continues for the whole movie. Like you have something that's very clean, very crisp, and everything looks filled with curiosity for a planet, right? This is one of those planets that you can just look around and everything looks distinctive, or the pathway that the predator is going through. Well, whether he's in a river, he's in a, let's say, inside of something more mechanical. Everything is very has a sharpness and cinema. The cinematography of it is very well done, I would say. Like it has a good view to it. Like it keeps you focused within. I would not focus within the trend, but there's a lot of focus to the idea, right? It's not something that just for the sake of it. Where whenever they show you something, it has good meaning to it. Uh, I think I think I just leave it like that. Like this is one amazing experience, amazing film, amazing experience. I was so surprised, to be honest. Like seeing the Predator, like I had some idea of what would it be, right? Like, and when I first saw the trailers and everything that I got into, I was just like, this is a really interesting take, and I was just like, I'm dying to watch this. I didn't not expect it to be something so extremely solid and so good. Like people are gonna, this is the kind of movie that you can rewatch for a long time, and it's always good and interesting because it's just so well done. Um, that's about it, fam. I really loved it. I really loved it, and I kind of wanted to see it again. So I'm probably gonna end up seeing it again. Like this afternoon, I was just thinking, wow, I kind of want to go experience it again, cause it just feels really good. Like that kind of feeling, wholeness within you. Not wholeness, but it's like it feels like you're watching something really, that fulfills you, and that that the experience was really good. You have no problems with it. It's just perfect. It's a great film. Like all the buzz that's going on about is for a reason. It's like it was incredibly well done. The director Dan Trachtenberg's um, vision, right? Whatever, however he wanted to create this, he went from something like he elevated the hunt of the predator into an existential crucible of actions, right? Into something different. He truly took something that was different. He was just like, all right, let's maintain that idea of the hunt, which it is. Like this film is very much about the hunt. Like that's still very present, but let's elevate it. Let's change everything, and let's see what is maintained or what it becomes. And I think he did amazing, right? He's created something different from what it was there. There's a lot of respect to things. It's very respectful. It's a very respectful film to ideas and concepts of the previous ones. But it just feels so new, right? Everything just feels new and creative, and it's like I'm experiencing something truly. When you're watching it, you feel like you're dealing with something new, dude. Like you feel like, all these ideas are like, oh, I get the idea, but the idea feels new, and it's like new stuff, new stuff. It's all over. It's like it's crazy. Yeah. GG's fam. This was really, I really recommend it. Bye bye. GG's.